think we might be back.
What's that?
I said I think we might be back.
Yeah, we are back. I'm going.
Yeah, you're going again? Yay! Shen's apparently offline though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are both back. Woot! Excellent. Well, that was silly. I love you, by the way. I said I love you, by the way.
I love you. I'm fat.
No, you're not. Why are you raspberrying me for...
I don't know. Because I'm a jerk. I should give you a couple of my Combi Christ albums.
Ooh.
They're very good. Very industrial metal good.
Awesome.
Industrial, I guess. Industrial, kind of floating in between that.
Cool. I'd be more than happy.
You've heard of them, right?
Combi Christ? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I can't say I own any of their albums, but yes, I most definitely have heard of them.
They actually did work in collaboration with Noisia on the latest Devil May Cry.
Did they?
Yeah.
Cool.
The soundtrack. Well, the reboot DMC.
Yeah.
The one that I like that everybody fucking hates.
Yeah. Well, I like it too. I think it's got awesome design sensibilities. But, I mean...
Although I will have to admit, they, like, in the initial concepts, I think at one point they almost had him looking a bit like David Bowie.
Yeah, in the
Which
original
I thought
concept,
was really
yeah.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that is awesome. And then they changed him. He's still cool. It strokes my edgy 90s punk, cyberpunk, dark, gothy metal side. I don't know. I'm kind of mushy. I'm a conglomeration of 90s shit.
Your 90s trash.
I am. Actually, no, probably the best way to describe myself is I'm underworld trash. Underworld and Matrix trash.
You are target audience is what you are.
What's that?
So you are target audience is what you are.
I am the entire target audience. Nobody likes this stuff but me, apparently. Because according to some people, I have no taste. It's like when the last I think it was, well, not the latest Underworld, but the Rise of the Lycans when that one came out.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I want to go see this, and my friend goes, ew, I'm not fucking seeing that with you. It's shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's fun.
It's fun.
Fine.
Sexy Times werewolf movie.
So I ended up not watching it until I watched it with you.
Yay.
My her loss was my gain.
Hee. She's a sourpuss anyway.
Yes. She's one of those people who, she's really into these indie films,
Yeah.
indie TIFF films, and she's just like, oh, you know this film? And I go, no, and she's like, ah.
Well, of course you wouldn't.
Well,
Someone like you wouldn't be into this movie.
she never said it like that.
I know, but I mean, they practically should, or they might as well, is what I'm trying to say. The way they friggin' snob it up like that.
Yeah, it's like, what kind of movies do you watch anyway? They're not movies, they're just shit. If you want to watch movies, you should watch the good ones that I watch, because only I watch good movies. It's like, oh, well, fuck you then. She's also kind of like that with music.
Oh God, of course you would be.
Like, ew, you like a song by Nickelback. I am silently judging you.
You're very loudly judging.
You're very loudly judging me. Go fuck yourself. Just because I like one song by a friggin' trash Canadian band that's embarrassing doesn't mean that I'm garbage.
I listen to video game soundtracks.
Yeah, I could just punch her in the face and she'd bounce right back up like one of those clown balloons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yes, yep. I remember those.
I'm an asshole.
Yep, me too. But that's okay.
Well, we were a match made in hell.
Match made in some cauldron somewhere. I'm judging you.
I'm silently judging you.
How is that any different from my cat? My cat judges me all the time. She's not very silent about it either. She just kind of,
Yeah.
you can tell she's just judging you.
Yeah, but at least you can't understand what they're saying.
Oh, I get the gist. I definitely get the gist. Oh, hey there, man's animator. Took me a second to figure out your username. I'm just finishing up some rough in-betweens on a freelance project. I tell you, having the internet conk out on us almost threw me off for the rest of the night.
The internet?
Yeah, when it conked out.
Yeah. So is my streaming with you helping you get work done?
Yes, well, I enjoy the company.
Yay! Admittedly, it's helping me
Yeah? Good. I weirdly seem to like the just having someone there, you know what I mean? Like just some little bit of conversation while I work.
Mm-hmm.
It weirdly seems to help.
Admittedly, that's kind of why I like going into the studio.
Yeah?
Just being in the work environment helps me
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah. So it's the
The only
same
time
thing.
I have a problem with it is when we're celebrating birthdays and like everybody from all three sides of the studio
Ugh.
crams into my side,
Ugh.
and it's just like bah, 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 bah. By the way, today was Keith's birthday.
Oh shit, I forgot to send him a message about that. I meant to do that. It just kind of got away from me.
That's okay. It happens.
Fucking hell, these in-betweens are tight.
He's gonna be mad at you and never talk to you again.
What was his name? Kelly? Why?
Hey now.
Oh, like you're friends with her anymore.
Yeah. I just find it dumb how I fell apart with her.
Yeah. Almost done with the rough in-betweens. Just got one more to do. It's practically a loose traceback, Jesus. Or a tight traceback, I should say. Practically one of them.
You know what?
I normally don't work with the onion skin on like this, but I mean these in-betweens are so tight. Like I'm working on like friggin' a pencil weight's worth of an in-between. So yeah, that's why I'm working with the onion skin on right now because it's just these tweens are just so damn tight. I actually used to work at Disney Toronto before they closed up, and I animated on another Disney project I worked on was the Tigger movie. So this is a freelance project with another studio, Yowza, for Curious George direct to DVD project. So just a small gig for right now. Let's just get these. One of the reasons why I'm even bothering doing these rough in-betweens is because the final cleanup work is going to be handled by someone else at the studio I am freelancing this for. So I'm doing this to make sure that really, because I've never actually worked with this other person before, so I'm just making sure that I provide them with, it's as everything straightforward as I can, because I don't know what their work quality's like, so I'm basically just providing them with as much as I can to make their job as easy as possible, and the results will turn out all kosher. So hopefully, that's the plan anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm using Toon Boom for right now. This is tradigital animation. It's I used Harmony's rigging and character bone system for some of the projects we're working on in the studio right now. But for this particular one, I'm doing all the hand drawn animation built or straight into Harmony. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that all my drawings are named the right thing. So that's 41, 39. You need to be 37. And you need to be 35, which you are. You need to be 33. You need to be 31, which you are. You need to be 29. You need to be 27. You need to be 25. 23. Yeah, your name 23. You need to be 21. You are named 19. Excellent. You should be 17 already. Yes, you are. You should be 15. Nope, you're level 16. Okay. Oh. You need to be 15. My mistake. What do you mean? 11, 13, 11. That should be 13. There we go. Yeah, now I can name you 15. There we go. Hey, no problem. Thanks for popping by. Okay, so you need to be drawing 9. You need to be drawing 5, which you are. And you need to be drawing 3, which you are. Excellent. Alrighty. No, I haven't tried TV Paint because no studio here in Canada uses it. So I haven't bothered trying it because nobody uses it. sense. Alrighty, so that looks like that's done. So I'm gonna put that. Hey, a pillowhead. What the heck? I am on the wrong layer.
I'm really looking forward to part 2 of that atheist delusion thing.
Oh.
I just keep thinking about it and shaking my head.
Ugh. Just the stuff that those guys. They're like, a lot of the what's coming out of their mouths just makes my eyes go in two different directions. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, clearly they know their shit.
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
But, you know,
This
it
is
isn't.
why I don't get involved in debates. I just
Oh,
like
I know.
I don't
I would
have
be
the
terrible at
I
it.
don't have the wit for it.
No. Thing is, you have to be really, really prepared, right? Personally, everything that they were talking about is accessible
Yeah, oh yeah.
through proper research. So it's not like these guys have to be, university educated in biology and science and astrophysics and all that. It's just they know their shit.
They
They've been
sure
doing
do.
it for a long time, and I'm pretty sure that if I, if either one of us did that for a long time, we'd be able to hold our own at some point. It's just, it's not really our thing.
Nope.
We have a passing interest in it, is all, really.
Very, very true. But I don't dare get involved or step in the same arenas
No, no, no.
that those guys very, very gladly do. I don't have the wit for it.
I will gladly listen to a debate. I'll
Yeah,
listen to it, but I'm not gonna
yeah.
fucking participate. I only participate in something that I'm confident.
You're not gonna make a monkey out of yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. That's weird. That's weird. Jason, are you drunk? For fuck's sakes, man. Do I use other animation for reference? Well, yeah, when I'm working on a project that has an established character, yeah. Like when I worked on the Tigger movie, I had to do a lot of Winnie the Pooh reference, make sure that I keep everything on style, that sort of thing. And before I took on this Curious George contract, I was referencing, I think, the last classically animated Curious George movie. What kind of examples are you looking for? Are you talking about examples of process? Pencil test, pencil tests. Um, I'm not really sure. I mean, these days, almost everything is pretty derivative of everything else. So, I would probably suggest instead of going to the web, um, getting some of the classically animated movies like The Secret of Nim, like pretty much anything from Don Bluth or the old Disney classics, that sort of thing. I mean, yeah, those aren't pencil tests, but I mean, those show you fantastic examples of timing and spacing of drawings and stuff like that. Especially if you've got a good player that you can do some frame by frame stuff. Um, I'm sure you can grab videos and stuff like that and frame by frame them as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things that you can do. Like when I was studying animation, we didn't have home internet connections, so I had to do a lot of the research and study all on my own because we didn't have a home internet connection for the longest time. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of stuff out there. Like just look at your look at what's currently available on home video. I mean, plenty of stuff to study there. Ooh, pardon me. Ooh, burpee tonight. I've got the gases. And you. So for this here, I'm doing the director asked for a uh, change in facial expression for this. Because I had previously handed in this shot, but he said he'd like to see a different facial expression on the tail end of the scene. So just accommodating that change now. Trying to get this project off my desk because I've got a huge pile of commission work that is waiting in the wings. So I'd like to get this off my desk as soon as possible. Well, yeah, technically speaking, I learned animation the hard way. um, I still say that I ended up with a stronger understanding of a lot of the principles than what your average student would get out of a proper course. But I definitely missed out on some of the meeting of the contacts and stuff like that. I missed out on making those initial meetings with the people I would be working with in the future. Um, but I mean, I spent long enough in the industry that I now know these people and known them for many, many years. But when I was first starting out, the fact that I didn't go to Sheridan or anything like that, that did kind of bite me in the ass a little bit. But I made do. Oh shit, that's right. I changed the face. Oh Jesus. So we'll basically be getting rid of the lower shit. help if I didn't smack the mic when I'm scratching my nose. Man, the Picardo chat's super quiet tonight.
I noticed that.
Looks like when the internet went down, like, the audience disappeared.
Yeah. Well, also the analog.
Yeah, that's true, too. Did I not? I guess I missed a drawing. New 2D animation. Well, um, some of the best 2D digital stuff that's on TV right now is Lion Guard. Um, that's one of the latest ones from Mercury. That's it airs on Disney XD. That one's some of the best 2D digital that's going around right now for television. Um, hmm. Well, there hasn't been much in the last what, good 10 years. There hasn't been much good 2D digital or well 2D animation in the last while. Um, The Illusionist is good by Sylvain Chomet. I did a little bit of freelance for that, but not much. But yeah, there hasn't been much. I'll tell you. It's mainly because we've hit a problem in the industry in the last few years that is basically, everybody seems to want classical 2D animation, but nobody's willing to pay for it. Meaning nobody's willing to pay the price, the wage we need to make it. So, a lot of us have had to resort to working in TV and stuff like that to, make a living anymore. Because studios just aren't willing to pay a proper wage for doing classical hand-drawn animation. There's enough of us that want to do it, like we want to make a film, but yeah, we also want to be paid a wage that we can live off of doing it too. Okay, I'll save that. You know what? I'm not not entirely convinced that this eye needs to change. I don't know. No, I haven't. You know, maybe I'll just tween into that. That might be a good idea. Yeah, maybe I shall tween into that eyebrow. I think that's a good idea. Change my brush size because it feels a little small. Tool properties. No, that's the right size. Okay, no worries. I'm going to, for this eyebrow revision that the director asked for, I think I'm going to be tweening from this position that I had before. I'm going to be tweening into the revision, so that might look pretty good. Just do a quick trace off of this eye. And go for the changes. And for being fall season, it is stupid freaking hot. It is so warm in here. I'm sitting here sweating my ass off. And this should do it. One revised monkey facial expression. Filthy.
Filthy.
Fucking filthy. Filthy fucking monkey. So if I go into the original drawings, just blow away that eyeball. So I think it was just this stuff. Doop, boop. Yep. So just blow away that. This is the thing I really love about doing animation digitally now. It makes doing revisions so much easier. Oops, I missed an eyebrow. I missed an eyebrow. How did I do that? How did I miss an eyebrow? Filthy fucking monkey. Alright. I think we're going to adjust this here. But it is getting there. So this drawing here, I don't think I'm going to have his brow come down so much. No, it's not that hard to make a living in 2D animation. It's just managing to make sure that you get yourself a decent gig. Because right now there's there's a bit of a crisis going on with I hazard to use the term wage crisis, but there is definitely a bit of an issue going on in the industry where wages are just they're basically much lower than they should be for production. Because what it's really doing, I hate to point the finger at anybody, but a lot of it is younger animators who are quite honestly willing to work a hell of a lot cheaper than more experienced people do, and that's turning into a little bit of a problem because just the wage that a lot of us experienced folks that should be making doing the job that we do and in the professional level that we do it at, it's getting lower and lower just simply because it's getting easier to find younger kids fresh out of school who are willing to work for a quarter of what the older guys are working for. But we're talking about kids that have very little skill and zero experience coming fresh out of school. So of course, a producer is going to look at they'll look at we have enough room in the budget to hire like 4 senior people, or we can get like 10 inexperienced people. And that's the difference that we're talking about. Hey, Francis. Yes, we are both fucking old. So, gonna just decrease this eyebrow squash a bit. The Director wanted that. So yeah, I'm just going to decrease that. As I was saying, I don't want to point the finger at anybody about the wage issues that we're facing, because it isn't. I can't put the blame squarely on the shoulders of the younger kids coming straight out of school, because it's not their fault. But it is just like a lot of it is producers. A lot of producers just they look at the numbers and just think that they can do a project with inexperienced people, and that's their mistake, not not a younger not a younger animator's mistake. It's part of the problem that's compounding in the industry right now. It's just there's too many people willing to work for far too low wage.
I will have to say, people who do like even just sketch commissions and shit for like
Mm-hmm.
$5 is kind of a problem.
Yeah,
It's lowering all artists.
diminishing returns.
Yeah.
It's a problem of diminishing returns.
It's not just animation. I mean, it's the same thing with illustration.
Illustration, yeah.
People want art for fucking free, basically.
Yeah, and that leads into the point that I was making about why aren't there more, why aren't there any modern 2D classically animated features going on? And that's why. We end up with um, production houses that just simply aren't willing to pay the wage of classically trained animators. They're just not willing to pay for it. So we run into a case of everybody wants hand-drawn 2D classical animation, but nobody's willing to pay for it. So that's where our problem lies. It's ugly, but it's the truth, which really sucks. Potato Man has sought the truth, and that is the truth. No, actually, the that whole thing of outsourcing um, being the paradigm of the future, that's actually not true. Um, because projects that are outsourced, uh, that like for the entirety of their production schedule, those ones tend to run into a lot of basically problems during production, because there's nobody hanging on to the reins. It's productions that keep the work in house, where you get directors standing over the shoulders of the animators, and being a director. Those are the ones that end up being successful productions, because they're under tight reins, and there's one overall creative voice. Those are the ones that tend to be successful.
Even though Butch Hartman is working with us, he's
Mm-hmm.
still very much involved.
Oh yeah, yeah. Butch Hartman is very involved.
I keep feeling like I'm butting into your conversations.
Oh no no. Well, really, technically, you're only getting half the conversation, because
Yeah.
a lot of these questions that I'm answering are coming from the YouTube feed.
Yeah.
So
I can tell.
Yeah. Let's tighten up those in-betweens. Hey, Francis. Yeah, I'm working on a Curious George freelance gig. There we go. That's working way better. So let's get those extra eyebrows out. And that should be that for this scene. So it's this eyebrow that they wanted changed. This eyebrow and this eyelid. What the hell? Is there being a decrease of raunchy doodles to margin ratio? You are fucking drunk. By the way, my brother has shown up to the YouTube chat and is being a tool.
Oh, great.
There we go. Yeah, there's no change there. There you go. There is a revised George scene.
Nice.
Less squinty.
Cool.
That's what Claude asked for. He thought the facial expression was a little too extreme,
Okay.
so he asked me to tone the facial expression down.
Cool. That looks great.
Yeah, look good.
Yeah.
There we go. So that was my first one. They just asked for a revision because he thought the first pass had a facial expression that was too extreme. So the second one, oh, I guess it did have it only in one window. Open recent, scene 6. So here's the other one I was working on. I'll turn this off. It plays a little choppy at first because the frames have to load into memory. But here you go, here's the other scene. All
Nice.
rough in between.
Nice.
Aha!
Great.
Aha!
I like it.
Curious George is a filthy little monkey. I'd say this scene is pretty much done too. Yeah, as much as I'm not a fan of monkeys or simians in any particular degree. I do have to admit, Curious George is cute, but that's about as far as I'll agree to, because monkeys is filthy, if you ask me. They do scandalous things. Filthy little ass picking, poo flinging buggers.
Lemurs are cool.
Lemurs are cool.
They is primates.
Yeah, but I did specifically use the term simians.
Simian was another word for primate.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
Is there a scientifically
I
scientific
could be wrong.
description difference?
Maybe simian only applies to apes. I have no idea.
That's what I thought. I thought the term simian only referred to apes
Which would be us.
and chimps. Yes, yes, I'm well aware of that. Painfully so.
I'm a fucking gorilla. I'm a gorilla.
Gorilla. Curious George. Yeah, normally I wouldn't really be open for any um, uh, classical freelance stuff because I do have a measured metric fuck ton of commission work that needs doing and regular work. Um, but I mean, this studio I'm helping out is they're friends of mine, and they asked really nicely. And I mean, I don't like saying no to classical work, so when it comes up, I usually tend to take it. Um, but yeah, it's always good to maintain relations and stuff like that with studios because you know you want to be always known as the dependable guy that when work comes around.
But at the same time, you don't want to work yourself into an absolute pit.
Well, no, I'm I'm doing it, so I'm not
No,
killing
I
myself,
know.
but
I've come to realize over the years that if I don't say no, I'm gonna kill myself.
yeah, yeah, I'm at that not at that point yet.
Is it bad that I've only been doing this for 10 years and I've already hit that point?
No, you're not actually killing yourself.
No, but back when I was supervising on Stoked,
Oh well, that's
2007,
supervising is
I was going to the hospital like every fucking week.
yes, supervising is a whole different. Um, yeah, there's a tip for you for those of you who are young up and coming enthusiast animators that want to go pro. A little tip: when you get to the point where you're given the opportunity to supervise, that's when the job doesn't become fun anymore. When you're in charge of whether or not someone's work is good enough for the project, Yeah, that's when the job isn't fun anymore.
It's long fucking hours of
Yeah,
thankless work.
yeah, yeah. It's a very like supervising and directing. I won't say is thankless, but I gotta say supervising certainly is. Supervising is a very thankless job. I've done that enough. Thankfully, I'm at the
You
director
also
stage these days, so.
you also get to deal with people who are complete assholes to you when you tell them their work isn't good enough.
Hmm.
They get all indignant.
Indignant, there's tears, there's shouting. Yeah. Yeah, right now I'm at, like I said, I'm at the director stage. I'm technical director at the studio I'm working at now. And I'm getting close to being at the highest pay or highest position I can be in before I have to do or I'm in charge of hiring and firing, which is not where I want to be. I don't I don't like being involved in the hiring and firing phase. I don't like being in charge of someone's livelihood. I mean, there's somebody's got to do that job. I just don't want to be the one to do it because it sucks.
It takes having a very sort of diplomatic personality.
Yeah, I'm not diplomatic. I'm harsh and aggressive and stabby.
Yeah, I don't like that though.
I'm a stabby git.
I'm a bitch. I remember when one of the guys who was working under me was like, "Yeah, this is weird for me because you're a girl
Yeah,
and you're younger than me." So I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Well, suck it up."
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Sorry, you're such a loser? Question mark.
Thankfully, thankfully, I haven't run into too much sexism throughout my career.
No, well, I mean
We're all
it's
pretty much on the same level.
yeah, we're all cartoon nerds.
Exactly.
So, this is one of those rare careers where, sexism and inequality and stuff like that doesn't really enter into it
No.
because we're all,
Unless you have a douchey boss.
well, that's admittedly that's rare.
Yeah, that is rare.
Having a douchey boss in animation is pretty rare. Now, mind you, I have had a few.
Mm.
I've had a few directors that I thought were complete and utter gits. Um, but I mean, those ones they pretty much get ousted by nobody wants to work with them. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Those are the ones nobody wants to work with.
Yeah.
And once that project, if you just get through that project, you'll never work with that person again.
Yeah.
That I can be very confident in saying happens. Yeah, well, people go through their entire animation careers and they're just like different stages of being an animator, like either a junior or an intermediate, or they stay their entire career being a cleanup artist or a character designer or something like that, and they never go beyond just another um, member of the crew. They never go into a supervisor role because they don't, just like you, they don't want to be part of the judging of someone else's work and whether or not they're good enough to be part of the production. Um, Admittedly, that job does need to be filled. Like people do have to be in that job to make those calls. Because otherwise, if nobody wanted to do that job, then we'd have a studio full of people that were just simply unqualified to be on the production. So somebody's got to do the job. It's ugly one, but somebody's got to do it. Hey, Sharky, you are being way too cute. Check this out. He's being way too cute. Yeah. Sharky's sleeping on a cat toy right now. He's being absolutely adorable.
He's a dork.
Alrighty, so I think all the timing charts are done on this one. Yeah, looks like it. By the way, this, as you can see here down in the timeline, all the drawings are done on 2s. So this particular scene, I got away with just doing everything on 2s because it just looks more like classical animation that way. That's one of the things I kind of specialize in my work is even though I work digitally, I do everything I can to make sure that it doesn't look like digital, which is unfortunately a bit of a plague problem for a lot of other animators. Hey, Yellow Fox. I haven't seen you around in a while. Yeah, we had a bit of a catastrophic loss of internet connection a little while back. Yeah, I like this. I like this brush. It's just one of the standard brushes in Toon Boom. Actually, I think it was one of the brushes that started out in Storyboard Pro that they just brought in because Storyboard Pro, a lot of storyboard artists like to work with textured brushes. Um, and I don't recall this one being in Harmony in the previous versions, but I think ever since they moved over to Harmony 11, there was just this big fistful of new standard textures that were in amongst the brushes. So I cross-referenced that with one of the versions of Storyboard Pro, and sure enough, all those brushes were brought over from that. So I thought, hey, if they're there, I might as well use them. It's a standard brush. So that's the one that I like to use when I do any classical work. So yeah, this one's done. I can send that off to the client. I'll check this one for any changes. Yeah, I think James will have no problem with that. Let's check the timing charts. So we get all our drawings named correctly, do we not? Looks like it. Excellent. But yeah, this one's got a mix of 1s and 2s, which is just how this one really just ended up. Um, I'll more often mix up um, drawing on ones or two, or sorry, I should say animating on ones or twos. I tend to mix it up a bit more when I'm animating with a rigged model in Harmony, because I find that's how. Sorry, excuse me. I find that's where you get like the best mix of the computer done in betweens with the more in betweens that look less computer done. If that makes sense, I'm not sure if that makes sense. But when you're working with a rigged model, it's a bit more like working with a 3D model, where you're working with a rig or a design of the character that actually has a bone structure, and you're animating it more like a 3D. You'd be animating it more like you would do in a 3D package. But the thing is, since it's 2D and not 3D, clients tend to look for they really would rather it look more like a hand drawn piece of animation than something animated on a computer. So one of the knacks or one of the processes I put this through is a process of animating it using the motion curves and all the gadgets and gizmos that you've got with an animated 3D animated rig. Um, but that's technically computer done in betweens, all a motion done on every frame, which tends to lend it to look a bit more computer done than hand done. So what I do is I end up animating it normally like a 3D model, but I then go through and I process my curves and I put it basically on ones and twos like I would with classically hand drawn animation. So the end result, even though it was done on computer, it looks way more like it was done by hand. See, this is done. I could probably load up an example. Open recent. There we go. So I'm loading up an example of a rigged model uh, piece that I did. This was a commission job that I did for a friend of mine online. Now this one is a fully rigged model. So if I take the marquee off, you see I got a control handle here for the character's head and stuff like that. So these are all individual parts rigged on a bone system, um, just like a 3D model. Now, you'll see down here there's keyframes that are on ones and twos. So there's like that's held for 2 frames. That's held for 2 frames. All of this bank here is all on ones. There's twos, ones, twos, ones. Oh Jesus, it's chugging. It's probably because of the streaming software. Give it a sec. Let it buffer in the frames. But yeah, what this the intention of this is to take advantage of the 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 rig that I had set up ahead of time and animated, and allow the computers to do the in-betweens, but stop it from looking computery, I guess is the intent of what I'm trying to say here. It's almost done loading in the frames. This is the OpenGL preview, so you got to let it load in the frames before it'll play back smoothly. There we go. So in the timeline, you'll see here that there's the progress bar down at the bottom. But yeah, so you end up with something that looks way more hand drawn or way more hand animated, um, which is something that you get from the mix of the twos and the ones. geez, it's almost midnight. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you.
That's okay.
Alrighty, folks. I think I'm going to pack it up for the night because I managed to get done what I wanted to get done. So I think I'm going to leave it off here. But yeah, I'll make sure to stream again probably in the very near future. I don't think I'll be doing it this weekend, but I might be streaming again before the end of the week, um, barring whether or not there's any revisions or any more changes that the client may want for the Curious George stuff. So I'll probably be streaming those changes. But yeah, I don't know. I'll make sure to let everybody know on on my usual social media channels and stuff like that. So I'll make sure to post there. But yeah, I wanted to say thanks to everybody for showing up. Hope to see everybody at the next one. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Take care. See you again.